Order at 7:02 p.m. This is the reorganization meeting of the governing body of the Borough of Bloomingdale, Tuesday, January 8th, 2013. I ask at this time if everyone please rise to salute our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Dunleavy.
Here.
Councilmembers D'Amato.
Here.
Conklin.
Here.
Delariva.
Here.
Shorten. Here. Sondermeyer.
Here.
Yazdi.
Here.
Also with us this evening, our municipal clerk, Jane McCarthy, and representing Dorsey and Semra, our attorney firm, is Tracy Webb. This is the reorganization meeting of the governing body of the Borough of Bloomingdale on December 19th, 2012. The time, place of this official meeting was posted at Borough Hall and advertised in all local news media. As per state fire code, I am required to acknowledge two emergency exits: the entrance which you came through, and exit to my left if an emergency was to rise. You would exit to either exit orderly and downstairs and out of the building. Any issue, question on that, raise your hand at this time. Before we begin with early public comment, I just want to wish everyone a very happy and healthy new year. I'd like to thank everyone for being here this evening. I especially would like to welcome aboard our new councilman, Mike Sondermeyer and Rich Delariva. Welcome, gentlemen. For those who may not know, on New Year's Day, our new councilmen were sworn in at that time. So again, it's great having you aboard. I need now a motion to open early public comment for agenda items.
So moved.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to speak to an agenda item? Please come on up, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, motion to close.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. We'll begin off with the election of our 2013 Borough Council President, and I will nominate to Councilman John D'Amato. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Thank you, John, for serving. And roll call.
Councilmembers Conklin.
Yes.
D'Amato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Shorten. Yes. Sondermeyer.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Then I would nominate Councilwoman Linda Shortman as our Council President Pro Tem. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Give me a second.
Second.
And Linda, thank you very much for serving in that capacity. Roll call, please.
Councilmembers D'Amato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Shorten. Yes. Sondermeyer.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes. Thank you again. Item 8, adoption of Resolution 2013 1.3 is establishing, 1.13 is establishing our 2013 Borough Council bylaws. We have a copy to the governing body. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And discussion, other than we have gone back to an older format of the bylaws. Primarily, a couple, the most substantial changes were that our agenda format is a little more simplified, and it will be the same for both work sessions and regular meetings. What we have done is combine a lot of the department head professional reports into one line, various, as opposed to each having its own line. We have also eliminated the 5-minute rule for public comment, and especially we have eliminated that there be no engagement with the governing body from the public, although everything has to be directed through the chair. And that is the primary changes.
Also the ability to remove an
Oh.
agenda item.
The prior bylaws had on early part of the agenda was a motion to remove an agenda item, and that has been removed because if we get to an item and the majority of the governing body agrees to table an item, that's the time to do it rather than an earlier point in time.
What about the committees?
And we have changed the committees, which we'll appoint tonight. We just reformatted, simplified the committees and their functions, which will be appointed a little later this evening. Other than that, they're on record with the clerk, if anyone wishes to look at, but looking forward to our structure the new way. And can I have a roll call, please?
Councilmembers Delariva.
Yes.
Shorten. Yes. Sondermeyer.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes.
D'Amato.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 9, appointments. The following professional service appointments are appointments which I will put forward, and I do need consent from the governing body. What I'd like to do with each section is I will go through each item, a brief explanation if necessary, and then I will call for a motion for all at one time. So beginning with our borough attorney for a one-year term, we will be reappointing Fred Semrau of Dorsey Semrau as our borough attorney. The terms remain the same. With the most important thing is we have a cap of $75,000, including litigation in that contract. And I'm looking forward to continue working with Fred and his staff. Our second is borough auditor. We are appointing the firm of Samuel Klein. Our auditor through that firm is Joe Facone. There's quite a bit of a cost savings on this appointment. The annual contract came in at $28,500, which is a $7,000 annual savings over the prior auditor. But more importantly, it's all inclusive, where we will have the audit of our fireman LoSAP. All our budget preparation is included in that base price, which adding those additional services in is close to a $10,000 savings for the borough. So I'm looking forward to working with Joe, who had served the borough many years in the past. Bond counsel, we're reappointing Jack Kraft. Again, the same rate, per thousand per bond, et cetera, that he previously has done. We'll also be appointing our public defender, Dana D'Angelo, who has served the borough 20 some odd years as our public defender and serves us very well. Our municipal risk consultant, our insurance consultant, we will be appointing this year the VAZA agency. They previously had served the borough. This is not a negotiable issue. There is the joint insurance fund sets the commission, and it's the same commission we paid previously, but there's an asset here from a service perspective that our staff who deals with them look forward to, and the offering of many, many safety courses, which ultimately help our rate and premium on our joint insurance fund premium. Chief Financial Officer, at this time, last year the governing body appointed him through January, so he's good until February 1st, so for housekeeping he will be a holdover at this time, and most likely in February we'll address his reappointment at that time. Our borough engineer for a 3-year appointment, who have served the borough for the past number of years very well at that, is Mr. Paul Domofosky. Our municipal prosecutor, Mr. Richard Coppleton, who again has served this borough in excess of 20 years as our prosecutor. Our municipal judge for a 3-year appointment, Andrew Wubenhorst. And our tax collector for a 4-year appointment, Ms. Barbara Ninestead. So those are our professional appointments for the calendar year 2013. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
And any further discussion? And roll call, please.
Councilmember Sharp?
Yes.
Sondemire?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Conklin?
Yes.
Mono?
Yes.
Delariva?
Yes. Thank you. Municipal officers, also my appointment, my nomination with council confirmation. I will be going through each one to get their name on the record, but we will be making the motion in one fell swoop. So beginning with our animal cruelty officer, 1-year term, Lisa Perry. Our assessment search officer, 1-year term, Ms. Jane McCarthy. Our CERT coordinator, Mr. Bernie Vroom. Our Clean Communities coordinator and co-chair will be myself and Councilwoman Linda Shortman. Fire Prevention Bureau Secretary, Robert Westdyke. Fire Prevention official, Mark Lime. Our Joint Insurance Fund Commissioner will be myself. Our alternate will be our treasurer, Sherry Gallagher. Our licensed water and sewer operator for 1-year term will be John Wakely, who has served the borough previously. Our LoSAP plan administrator will be Sherry Gallagher. Our Passaic County Brownsfield Commissioner will be Pharaoh Ruler. Our pension certification officer will be Sherry Gallagher, our treasurer. Our property maintenance official at this time will just be a holdover, Mr. William Tyson. And the reason for that is we want to talk with Bill about, within our budgeted extended hours, our possibility, but on his current terms, he'll be held over. Public agent compliant officer will be myself. Public events co-chair will be myself and Councilman Mike Sondemire for public events. Recycling coordinator will be Al Gallagher, our DPW superintendent. Recycling coordinator alternate will be our sewer and water, also assistant DPW superintendent, Rocco DiGregorio. Our safety coordinator will be myself, Mayor John Dunleavy. Our special police officers, these fine gentlemen who served the borough for many years, one of which was a retired police officer for the borough recently, and they just do a great job. So we have Class 1, Leonard Hassan, Class 1, Andrew Smith, who was a former police officer, Class 2, Paul Pampanella, Class 2, Thomas Smith, and Class 2, Jeff Breckenridge, also recently retired police officer. Our Storm Water Management Coordinator, 1 year, Al Gallagher, DPW Superintendent. Our SWAC representative, Al Gallagher. Our SWAC representative, alternate, Rocco DiGregorio. Our tax search officer is also our tax collector, Barbara Neinstadt. Our zoning official, Mr. Dan Hagberg, who has served the borough, has to be going on 25 plus years. Yeah, long time. He does a fine job. Our building inspector, Michael Tabak. Our plumbing inspector, Craig Smith. Our certified public works manager is John Whitehead. This is a change. This is Kinlan's licensed DPW operator, and now we will be having an interlocal agreement with him at a cost savings of about $1,000 to the borough. Our deputy municipal clerk is Terry Sauer, or Teresa Sauer. Municipal Housing Alliance is Mr. Dan Hagberg. Our Paquonic River Basin Sewer Authority liaison, 5-year appointment is Mr. Edward Howard. And our fire subcode official, 4-year appointment is Ralph Perino. Do I have a motion for those
So moved.
municipal officers? And thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Councilmember Santamar.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes.
Tomato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Shortman. Yes.
The following are direct mayoral appointments. Who I will state for the record. We are appointing a 5-year term to the Economic Development Commission, Mr. Michael Massatello. Environmental Commission, 3-year, Frank O'Reilly. Environmental Commission, 3-year, Carol J. Giello. Environmental Commission, 3-year, Mark Crum. Environmental Commission, alternate 2, and if I may, Frank, Carol, and Mark have served a number of years on the Environmental Commission, and we are adding a new member, an alternate 2-year term. This is Ellen Gerber, so I welcome Ellen. Thank you for serving. Library Board of Trustees, 5-year seat will be Robert Bloodgood. The Mayor's Rep for 1-year seat will be Deborah Sondermeyer. It's a familiar name. Library Board Superintendent Rep from the Board of Education is Mr. Dennis DiLorenzo, who has served also for many years. Planning Board. Planning Board Class 4, 4-year term, Mr. Edward Simoni. Planning Board Class 4, 4-year term, Mr. Kevin Lucio. Planning Board Class 4, filling a 4-year unexpired term, expiring 12/31/14, Mr. William Graff. Planning Board alternate 3, 2-year seat, Mr. Robert Gorman. Planning Board Mayor's Rep, Elaine Petrowski. Planning Board alternate 1, 1-year, Mr. Robert Lippy. And Planning Board alternate 4, 2-year unexpired, expiring in the end of this year, Mr. Dean Specchio. Those are direct mayoral appointments. Again, now for the record. The following are municipal boards and commissions. Again, these are incredible residents and volunteers who serve our borough and dedicate a lot of their time to help us achieve our goals. And this is also with council confirmation. So again, I will read it to the record and ask that one motion we approve all 71 of them.
We approved the last 17, or we're going to do it all again?
No, that was the, I'm sorry, the ones I just,
Those are mayors?
it's a mayor direct appointment.
No, right.
Okay. Board of Health, 3-year term, Mary Ellen Fallon. Board of Health, 3-year term, Mary Ellen Snyder. Board of Health, alternate 2, 3-year term, Maureen Tierney. Board of Health, alternate 1, 3-year term, unexpired term, expiring 12/31/14, Stephanie Mulligan. Our local emergency planning council, our deputy Ray Muller and Eric Hubner, followed by the mayor sits on that, myself, Dawn Hudson, Robert Vorman, Bernie Vroom, Al Gallagher, Bill Steenstra, Bill Sondermeyer, Gail Dunlap, who is representative of the Triborough First Aid Squad. Board of Ed Representative George Hagel, our Police Chief Joe Burrell, our Building Code Official Dan Hagberg, our own Councilman John D'Amato, Eric Twasson, Pete Crew. Those are our local emergency planning team that is a crucial group of fine volunteers who help us during times of need and all year round. I thank all of them for serving. Continuing our Municipal Alliance, this is a county grant we received for drug and alcohol education and prevention. Our coordinator will be Cindy Hopper, and continue with one-year appointments, Debbie Duhane, Lisa Warren, Christine Spencer, Julie Colavito, Jennifer Hagan, Kim Julian, Tara Amway, Katie Sondermeyer, Brian Brinker, Robin Turk, Sean Keegan, Kim Kushner, Lauren Greco, and Kerry Cozino. Those are our 2013 Municipal Alliance volunteers. Our Rose Fund Advisory Board for a 3-year term will be Tia Brady. Our Senior Advisory Committee for a 3-year unexpired term expiring 12/31/14 is Jessica Mirabella. Senior Advisory Committee 3-year term, Marianne Rippleman. And the final 3-year Senior Citizen Advisory Committee is Doris Migliorino. And the Mayor's rep to the Senior Advisory will be Sunny Brennan. Our CERT team. This, again, is an amazing group of fine volunteers. Our search and rescue, our CERT team, Community Emergency Response Team, many who also serve on our search and rescue. All 1-year terms, beginning with Bernie Vroom, Kevin Granville, Al St. Jacques, Darren Miller, Harvey Miller, Bruce Bridge, Chris Sinnell, Tom Fuchs, Peter Brand, John DeScafano, William Plog, Charles Manella, Alan Bird, Susan Pop, Marianne Vroom, Dean Specchio, and Greg Riley. Search and rescue, Bernie Vroom, Kevin Granville, Al St. Jacques, Darren Miller, Harvey Miller, Bruce Bridge, Chris Sinnell, Charles Manella, that would be our 1-year search and rescue. Recreation. Our recreation 2-year seat would be Drew Julian. 1-year seat, Teresa Marino, both who have served previously, and I thank them for coming back. Our newest member to the Recreation Commission will alternate 1-year seat, Mr. Stephen Mulligan, and returning alternate 2-year seat, Mr. John Tampanero. And then we have filling an unexpired seat, which is former Rec President Mike Sondermeyer, now Councilman's seat will be Mary Westcott, who previously served as an alternate. She will now be serving as a regular member. And our Recreation alternate 1-year seat, Melissa Winters. And so, if I may have a motion to approve all those wonderful volunteers.
Moved.
Second.
Thank you. And a roll call, please.
Councilmembers Yasi,
Yes.
Conklin,
Yes.
Tomato,
Yes.
Delariva,
Yes.
Shortman, yes, Sandemeyer.
Yes.
Thank you. And the council appoints a planning board class 3 member, and I will nominate Councilman Ray Yazdi to this 1-year term. Do I have that motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion before he changes his mind? Roll call, please.
Councilmembers Conklin,
Yes.
Tomato,
Yes.
Delariva,
Yes.
Shortman, yes, Sandemeyer,
Yes.
Yasi.
Yes, sure.
Oh, I'll go out of order and then come back, sure. No, I want to do that now, then swear them in first, so, sorry, it's under the consent.
Yeah. First one.
I see. What I'd like to do before I take a break and swear in those who are here this evening, I'd like to designate our officers of the Bloomingdale Fire Department. So a little bit out of order, under item H, the adoption of the consent agenda resolutions, I'm going to move right now, look for a motion for resolution 2013 1.14, designating officers of the Bloomingdale Fire Department. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
And any discussion? Other than, as I always do, this incredible group, not just our officers, but our department as well as our ladies auxiliary, for serving the borough. It's incredible what you do for us, and I thank you, gentlemen. Roll call, please.
Councilmembers Tomato,
Yes.
Delariva,
Yes.
Shortman, yes, Sandemeyer,
Yes.
Yasi,
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes. I'd like to just take a brief moment to swear in anyone who is here who will be serving this year. I will first do the firemen officers by themselves, and then I will call up our residents, and then we will take a short recess, because anyone who's here can sign their affidavit now and make Jane's life very, very easy. Those who are new to any board or commission, you will be notified by the chairperson of that committee, who will get you immediately in the loop and on email chains for meeting schedules and the like. Okay, so gentlemen, firemen, officers, if I can have you please come up. I always have to say, when I say I state your name, please don't say state your name. If you may all please raise your right hand. And again, when I get to the duties of office, all state individually, all at once, your position. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of, according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Chief?
Good practice.
That was wonderful. Thank you, gentlemen, very, very much. Thank you. You guys may be seated. Now, any resident or anyone who's here who was nominated and approved for a position, I'd ask you to all please come on up. Maybe just come across in front of me here. Stay right there.
Yeah, that's works for you.
She just had a surgery.
Yeah, oh, she's out?
Let's go across the way here.
She's doing okay. She's still in recovery. So I'm going to go down to that.
Thank you, everyone. Okay. Again, I will say I state your name. Everyone all collectively will state their name, and when I get to the office of, you will clearly together as one state your individual positions. So thank you all for serving in 2013. This will be a great year. I ask you all to please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of. I got that. According to the best of my ability. Congratulations, and I thank each and every one of you. Thank you. As always.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
I took it out my whole title.
I know, thank you, Bill. Thank you very much. You're a bunch of things. Thanks very much. It's always very good to see you as well. Thank you. Now, if we can all, we're going to recess for about 5 minutes. Right. Heads there. Thank you, everyone. Item F are the appointment of the governing body committees and citizen committees. I will again read into the record each committee and then ask for a motion to move all in one block. The first will be our 2013 Budget Committee, which will consist of Chairman Councilman Ray Yazdi and members Rich Della Ripa and Councilwoman Linda Shortman. Our Government Operations Committee, which again, we've decised what they used to previously be, where we had committees for recreation. GovOps is just as it says, is overseeing the operations of government, each facet of our town. And that chairperson will be Councilman John D'Amato, members Mike Sondermeyer and Ray Yazdi. Our Public Health and Safety, which is primarily the relationship is with the police department and fire department, and our search and rescue and so on, and OEM. And our chairman will be John D'Amato, and our members will be Councilman Mark Conklin and Mike Sondermeyer. Our Ordinance Review Committee, which consists of planning board members and our building code official, will be Chairperson William Steenstra, and members Ed Simone, Pete Krupp, William Graff, Dan Hagberg, and Ray Yazdi. Our Shared Service Committee, to continue to seek and renew shared services, will be, the chair will be myself, Mayor Dunleavy, and members Ray Yazdi and Linda Shortman. Our Flood Committee, which is again a great new committee started last year, led by Chairperson Jack Miller, who's here. Jack, thank you for spearheading this. They work closely with our environmental groups, our engineer, and in the upcoming, to be very soon, our flood mitigation project, which is going out to bid in the next few weeks to begin the restoration of Sloan Park and flood mitigation along Main Street, as well as some big issues in the lower, the flat section of the borough as well. So again, our chairperson is Jack Miller. Members are myself, Linda Shortman, Bernie Vroom, Ron Caputo, Linda Huntley, Hack Miller, and Rich Murek. And the Grants Committee, always seeking and looking for grants for the borough, although the well has run dry in many outlets, but we continue to seek, which would be Chair, myself, and our members, Councilman Yazdi and Rich Della Ripa. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Again, other than thanking everyone for your commitment, and roll call, please.
Councilmembers Della Ripa.
Yes.
Shortman. Yes. Sondermeyer.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes.
D'Amato.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'll do the same on our appointments, our liaisons from the governing body to our various organizations. Our Board of Ed liaison will be Mr. Richard Councilman Della Ripa. Our Board of Health liaison will be Councilwoman Linda Shortman. Our Fire Department liaison is John D'Amato. Our Bloomingdale, it's actually Bloomingdale Butler Youth Club now, is myself. That's our football and cheerleading youth program, which is now merged with Butler last year. Our Rotary is Jane McCarthy. Environmental Commission, Linda Shortman. Library Board of Trustees, Mark Conklin. Local Emergency Planning Council, John D'Amato. Our Drug Alliance is Mike Sondermeyer. Our Planning Board is, as he sits in that seat as a rep, is Ray Yazdi. Our Rose Fund Advisory Board liaisons are Ray Yazdi and Linda Shortman. Our Senior Advisory liaison is Linda Shortman. Our Chamber of Commerce liaison is Jane McCarthy. Triborough Little League liaison is myself. Economic Development Committee is myself. Passaic County Film Commission is returning again to serve. Does a very good job in the services. Lynn Ferrara, and for those who don't know, in 2011, a movie was filmed in the borough at Walter T. Bergen School. And the movie is called Bad Parents. What does it read? There's two versions.
It's rated R.
It's rated R, but then there's an edited kids version. What they're doing is a one night, it's on our website and on our Facebook, they're doing a one night showing of this movie in Kinnelon for, through our Bloomingdale Butler Soccer Club for anyone to go. And they suggest you buy tickets online for the premiere of this movie, which is being released in the theaters on the 7th, I believe. Or no, on the 17th, I believe. But this evening is the 30th?
It's the 31st.
31st, in Kinnelon, Clearview. And you'll see Walter T. Bergen in the movie, and some local faces. We've had one of our coaches played the referee in the movie. And if you look at the trailer online, you'll see that referee. It looks quite good. So that's what our film commission does, is try to bring film through the county to the borough. And there is a revenue generation. We can make this grow from a permit standpoint. So again, Lynn Ferrara, we thank her for that. Our flood committee liaison will be Mark Conklin. The task force, I was informed, excuse me? No, but it's no longer in force. The Passaic County River Task Force has been defunct, correct? Bernie? And our recreation liaison, which is just fitting, is our former rec president, Mike Sondemire. So to have that motion, please.
So moved.
Seconded?
And any discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Sondemire.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes.
Tomato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Shortman. Yes.
Item H, we've done the first resolution for our fire department officers, so we will now, I'd like to, in one motion, move our consent agenda resolutions from 2013 1.5, I'm sorry, no, 5, 4 was the fireman, 6, 7, and 8, which are the following. Resolution 1.5 is authorizing our water testing agreement with the Pompton Lakes Water Authority, authorizing borough vehicles to designated municipal employees, which is a standard resolution we do each year, authorizing the televising of our council meetings, and authorizing cancellation of certain tax refunds or delinquencies. And those I'd like to move with a motion by whom, please?
So moved.
Any discussion?
Water testing, does that have to do with the well monitoring and DPW?
No, this is our we operate our own sewer and water authority, our utility, and we must provide testing. We previously used Passaic Valley Water Commission. We've just transferred to Bill Doty, who's employed by Pompton Lakes at a savings for our testing. So that's just our drinking water testing, which is required. Any other discussion? And roll call, please.
Councilmember Yazdi.
Yes.
Conklin. Tomato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Shortman. Yes. Sondemire.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, item 9, special business. We will have resolutions 2013 1.9, what? Oh, I'm sorry, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so it'll be 19 through 1.24. I'd like to move these in one, but I'll explain each. The first, we're authorizing contracts with our police chief. Our police chief, I'm happy to say, is willing to enter into a 3-year contract with the borough. There's no increase in base pay whatsoever, and there's just a 2% annual increase in his salary, as all our department heads do receive. And I'm grateful for the chief's service, and I'm extremely grateful that he will be here for at least 3 more years. We'll also be authorizing our borough attorney's contract, our borough auditor's contract, our engineer, our bond counsel, and our insurance risk managers. So can I have a motion to move those 6, 19 through 24 resolutions on contract?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Any roll call?
Councilmembers Conklin.
Yes.
Tomato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Shortman. Yes. Sondemire.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Okay, item G, resolution, 213 1.25 is authorizing a tax appeal settlement for Block 92.A, Lot 27, 21 Rafkin Road. This is actually from 2011. The recommendation comes from our tax assessor, Brian Townsend, as well as our attorney, Fred Semro, have reviewed the settlement, and to avoid the trial court process, the settlement is being made and recommended. So do I have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
And any discussion? I need a roll call, please.
Councilmembers Tomato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Shortman. Yes. Sondemire.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes. Thank you. Item H, adoption of resolution 2013 1.26, hiring of Burgess Associates to perform the Highlands performance actions. Now, this is an extremely exciting time for the Borough of Bloomingdale. As you know, last year we talked all year about redevelopment. We talked about redevelopment zone, which the council adopted last year on Avalon Bay. But we kept talking about extending that and doing redevelopment on the Union Ave corridor from Van Dam to the Horse Farm, and redevelopment zone on all of Main Street from the Riverdale Bridge to Main Street Butler, the first Main Street Butler, South Corner. Now, the good news is, and last year, as much as we were talking about it, it was always in the back of my mind, how are we funding this? The good news is the Highlands Council, because we are primarily in the preservation area, the Highlands Preservation, has funded this project. The Highlands has awarded $130,000 to the borough to fund the redevelopment in the Highlands. And there are some components of this funding from redevelopment, from economic growth, from sewer studies, and so on. So we're authorizing Burgess to begin that process. We're looking to have final product back from them to go to the planning board for review and input, hopefully by March. And here's the incredible benefits to the borough. Not only is it being funded, so we do not have to fund this in our operating budget, it allows us, once this is completed, to do a similar redevelopment that we've done in Avalon Bay. And what this allows us to do is primarily two things. It allows us to do zoning overlays where the governing body or the planning board will see necessary when the proper uses come forward to do something in Bloomingdale. More importantly, it allows us to enter into financial agreements with potential developers, agreements in the form of the pilot, payment in lieu of taxes, abatements, items to entice the smart growth we need to occur. One of the real exciting things about this is there is part of the funding is to do a study to try to extend sewers on Union Ave to the horse farm. The horse farm is currently in the preservation area. Well, 80 acres of it is. The front 20 is in the planning area, but still, per Highlands, difficult task to bring sewer there. I preached for many years. The horse farm is one of our smart growth sites. It is along our corridor on Union Ave, and getting sewer there will just expand the uses. I mean, there could be uses without sewer, but not, I feel, the smartest ones that they can be, the most return for the borough that it can ultimately be. So approving this evening is going to start the process to be completed by March by the planning board and get this rolling where we can designate these two sites, Main and Union, as redevelopment and start enticing the smart growth to come. And included in that is the horse farm, which, you know, I've lobbied for years to have something there, and it's something smart there that will help us pay down debt, stabilize taxes, and move forward. So I'm very, very excited about this. So with all that said, I'd ask for a motion to approve hiring Burgess as we move forward.
So moved. Second.
Thank you, and is there any discussion? I look forward to this product coming back, us reviewing it, giving all our input, public input, planning board input, and moving forward, because this is the beginning of some great production for our borough. Roll call, please.
Councilmembers Delarose.
Yes.
Short. Yes. Zondervan.
Yes.
Yasi.
Yes.
Conklin. Tomato.
Yes.
Thank you. Item I, we're actually going to be introducing by title. Renter's dwelling registration. Under the Landlord Registration Act, NJSA 46:8-27 allows us to implement this Landlord Registration Act, which requires a landlord registration, also known as the Landlord Identity Law. What this does, it allows us to identify 1 to 2 family dwellings that are rental properties, to require owners to register these units with the borough, and there's a fee involved, I believe, of $50. But it allows us to inspect these properties as a result of that registration. It allows us to inspect for safety, it allows us to inspect for occupancy, and each time a tenancy changes in these units, they must notify the borough. So it gives us a great control in place to make sure are 1 to 2 families, which primarily are along Main Street, in my opinion, there are some scattered throughout town, are rented proper, housed properly, and safe for all and its inhabitants. So that's what we're introducing for final adoption on the 22nd. So I'd ask if we can have a motion to introduce by title our Landlord Registration Act for Renters Dwellers Registration. Do I have that motion?
So moved. Second.
And I thank you. And roll call, please.
Councilmember Shortman. Yes. Sondemire.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes.
Tomato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
I imagine to be an ordinance amending chapter
Chapter 15.
15, rental dwelling units.
Again, final adoption to be on January 22nd. Thank you. The next item is adoption of resolution 2013 1.27. This is the authorization for our well monitoring at the DPW. Remember last year, we were informed by the DEP that we need to monitor wells at the Department of Public Works building due to just compliance. There was old fuel tanks at the yard, and the borough had done a lot of research on this in 2004 through approximately 2009, and the DEP's come back for additional monitoring. I remember we talked about this last year, some of the public got concerned. It's not a matter of contamination, it's a matter of monitoring to be compliant with the DEP. Last year was a funding issue, so we got permission from the DEP to extend this authorization until now for funding, and the DEP had granted that. So now I need a motion to authorize the well monitoring. It's a cost of $17,500, and we have a certification of funds, and I need that motion. I'm just trying to find the vendor's name. I can't. Atlantic Scientific.
Atlantic Environmental Solutions.
Okay, thank you. Okay. And
So moved.
thank you. Seconded. Any further discussion? And I need a roll call.
Councilmember Sondemire.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes.
Tomato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Shortman. Yes.
Thank you. The next item is item K, discussion in regards to the Passaic County Open Space Trust Fund. Every year we seek through the county funding through their Open Space and Recreation Trust Fund. And the deadline for application is March 15th. What I would like to propose to the governing body, and we authorize this evening so we can get our engineer to begin working on the application, is that we seek funding for the restoration and repair of the Leisure concrete bleachers. Those bleachers are in disrepair. Those bleachers need quite a bit of masonry work from a safety standpoint, and I believe that's what we should seek from a recreation standpoint this year. So I'd ask for a motion to approve that is what we move forward on in 2013.
So moved.
Second?
Any further discussion? Other than once the application is complete, I'll bring it back to the governing body for review and present to the county for March 15th. They do have public hearings, which in the past I have attended with our former administrator, so I would offer to anyone, possibly Councilman Sondemire, you join me on those presentations as our rec liaison. And Ray, I'll probably ask your help. I want to do some of these PowerPoint presentations on the history and historic values of Glacier and why we need the funding. Okay, and we'll move forward. So thank you. So can I have a roll
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, can we give that a resolution number?
I'm sorry. On the approval? Okay, so resolution
1.28.
1.28. Sorry, I don't have that present. That's all.
Councilmember Yazdi.
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes.
Tomato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Shortman.
Yes.
Sondemire.
Yes.
And just for the record, I think I mentioned this at our last meeting. Last year, we went for funding for restroom facilities at the Walter T. Bergen School. And we requested $100,000. We were awarded $78,000. And I continued to lobby with the county, and they have come back and awarded us the additional, actually $22,000 for a total of $99,000. So it's a good thing. So the engineers are already working on design on that, and we're hoping about to bid before the spring on that restroom facility. Item L, discussion in regards to St. County Development Block Grant. This is another grant we apply each and every year to the county. This is normally a infrastructure, well, this is an infrastructure type grant. If you recall, the last time we received this money, we applied it to Henyon Street. That's what did the sidewalks and curbing on Henyon Street. This year, at the recommendation of our engineer, we will be applying, or I'm asking for approval, that we apply for sewer line, sewer lateral, paving, curbs and sidewalks on Ryerson. We're going to go from Main to Oak. It's a substantial number. We'll see what funding we get and do what we can after that. And that is the area, not every part of town is eligible to be applied for. It's mostly Main Street and a couple offshoots off Main Street based on their requirements. This is a good fit. Paul Foster, engineer, suggests we go in this direction. Again, Ryerson, utility infrastructure, paving and curbs and sidewalks. So if I can have that motion to authorize this, and I'll give a resolution. Sorry again, James, on that. 2-9.
Just a question on it?
Let's get a motion first. And then we'll
So
discussion.
moved.
So motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. And discussion.
Ryerson, did you look at Reeves also the first from Main Street to Oak? I mean, how did we come up with Ryerson versus Reeves?
Because the Henyon money was originally for Ryerson. And what happened after he did the investigation on the laterals, he said, don't waste your money on curbs and sidewalks because there's such lateral issues there where they're not, parallel and big sewer issues on Ryerson. So that's why he's saying go there. Reed, similar conditions.
Just
This is worse.
road-wise, Reeves looks
Paving-wise?
first.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we can, at the engineer's advice, we should go for this, see what we get. I think, we're not going to get fully funded. It's going to be a substantial number if we go for the whole road. And then we can decide at that time if we just want to put it underground, fix that first, and then go through the co-op for paving and staying on Reed. And there's a lot of areas like this, but that goes into the mapping issue, which I'll give in my report in a moment on that. But yeah, I'm just going with our engineer's recommendations. That's worse than Reed. Any other discussion? Have a roll call, please.
Councilmembers Conklin.
Yes.
Tomato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Shortman. Yes. Sondemire.
Yes.
Yasi.
Yes.
Item M, authorization to remove from the rolls of the Bloomingdale Fire Department. I thank these gentlemen for serving. That would be Kevin Allegrino, Matthew Duffy, Wes Atwater, and Hunter McConnell. And do I need I have a motion, please?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor on that?
Aye.
Item N, introduction of ordinance 2-2013. This is an ordinance accepting and approving an application by the Bloomingdale Urban Renewal LLC, formerly known as Avalon Bay LLC, for a financial agreement with the Borough of Bloomingdale. This is the pilot. Now, we are introducing by title. The pilot, as we discussed quite in depth in 2012, is possible because of initially the redevelopment ordinance that was done, declaring Avalon Bay site as an area in need of redevelopment. And as a result, we can implement this pilot, which is an absolute financial benefit to the borough. We've gone through the numbers numerous times. It's public information. Councilman Yaz would be more than willing to educate any public member or council member who has additional questions before adoption on the 22nd. But here again, it's a $550,000 financial agreement with Avalon, with Bloomingdale Urban Renewal LLC. And there were the provisions of the borough receives 95% of that money, the county receives 5%. The borough, then you have the offset of the land tax they pay, and then the big component in the agreement is them waiving their Kelly rights, where we will not have to supply for 30 years snow plowing or garbage pickup on that site. And then remember, if something, as time goes on, it's something now that they have to provide those services, we will then go back and possibly enter into an interlocal with Avalon Bay to offer those services for an additional revenue for the borough. So there's great things about this. The other great thing about this is it's a catalyst. When this was first on the table, we received in excess of half a dozen phone calls from people interested, which is why now Burgess was hired tonight to do redevelopment on Union. If the buzz gets out there, the interest is there, and then people will come forward looking to make improvements to horse farms, to Copicis, to to those sites we need that growth on. And I'd ask for a motion to introduce by title the pilot program, if I may.
So moved. Second?
And is there any discussion?
I just, in a sense, I just wanted to, I think it's been discussed enough. And I also will not support it as I've done in the past. But I just think it's very important for us all to know, especially our new members, that it's important for us to discuss things that come up for a vote, rather than just making a vote. I think we learn from each other through discussion, and I think it's an important thing to do, and I want you to know that I haven't really changed my mind, and I will support this motion.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. Anyone else? And can I have a roll call, please, to introduce my title?
Councilmembers D'Amato,
Yes.
Delariva,
Yes.
Short,
No.
Sondemire,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Coughlin.
No.
An ordinance accepting and approving an application by Bloomingdale Urban Renewal LLC for a financial agreement with the Borough of Bloomingdale to proceed to NJSA 48:20-1. That will be January 22nd.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Item O is the introduction of ordinance 3-2013, funding received from any financial agreement related to redevelopment projects and financial agreements known as payments in lieu of taxes or pilots, will be utilized for debt reduction and any impact as a result of a project like in Avalon Bay that has a direct impact to the Board of Education, that this money will be utilized. Remember, there was a concern by some residents and council people alike, including myself, that if Avalon Bay produces children, and the projections are it will not impact the schools, but if those projections are wrong, remember, under the pilot, the Board of Ed is not getting revenue from this. It's 95% to the municipality, 5% to the county. So we are putting an ordinance in place to protect our taxpayers, that this money is dedicated for tax relief, debt reduction, and any impact to the schools as a direct result of such a project will be funded as it would have been under normal taxes if that exposure exists. And that's what this introduction is, exactly what we promised, that the money will be utilized for those purposes. And can I have that motion?
So moved. Second?
Is there any further discussion?
I just have a statement to say. I would support this because I think that would be the wisest use of this money. However, I also am happy to be assured that our budgeting will not change for the debt reduction along with this. So we will be increasing paying debt reduction by using this plus what we've budgeted in the past. Correct?
The details of how that happens, right, to restructure your debt, you have to pay a fee. So the details of how you do this, I showed it on one of the PowerPoints. Whether we borrow more money or take this money and borrow less money, it's the same impact. So the details of it, we will work out at each and every one. But this allows us to not have to borrow as much and continue to increase. And the total money that's coming in to pay down our debt will be totally applied to that, which is going to get rid of our debt.
But I'm just in my own simple financial terms, we won't be reducing the budgeted amount that we pay in debt because of this from our yearly budget.
In other words, right now, if we have $1.1 million in our
Right.
operating budget to pay down debt,
Right.
the plan would be that would actually be an increased amount with pilot money to pay down debt faster, combined with the reduction in our operating budget as a result of this revenue. Stabilizing taxes and paying down debt.
Is that-
But in a full restructure, it's hard, I guess what councilman's having difficulty, and I don't want to speak for you, is when we restructure the debt, if that restructuring in itself reduces the amount we pay annually to pay down that debt, to your point, it would be a disadvantage to what you want to do. If we restructure debt and that payment becomes $900,000 a year, so be it.
Okay, I got you.
Absolutely.
All right, any further discussion? Again, this is introducing by title the ordinance to dedicate those funds for debt reduction and impacts to school as applied. And can I have a roll call, please?
Councilmembers Delariva,
Yes.
Short, yes. Sondemire,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Coughlin,
Yes.
D'Amato.
Yes.
And that will be ordinance 3-2013, January 22nd at 7 p.m. It will be an ordinance to
2-76.8, funding received from financial agreements relating to redevelopment projects and financial agreements pursuant to NJSA 48:20-1 at all, also known as payment in lieu of taxes or pilot agreements, shall be dedicated to taxpayer relief.
Thank you. And final reading, just as you said.
22nd.
7 p.m. Okay. Thank you, everyone. And again, this is the beginning, this is the catalyst, and looking forward to how well this ordinance will help our borough. Before I open public comment, being that we've adopted our bylaws, so we didn't have our normal format, I just want to give a quick mayor's report. We're going to put up to speed on a few issues, little housekeeping items inside. I'll be meeting tomorrow with Spartech, our IT company, to review some IT issues, make sure our software protections are there, and look at a lease program. A lot of our computers are outdated. A lot of our staff struggles with these old pieces of equipment. And this meeting just came up today, so with your IT knowledge, Rich, if you want to join me, you're more than welcome at 11 a.m. tomorrow here if you're available. And just get some indications. I think our borough should be leasing equipment rather than owning, because after 3 years, our computers are really outdated anyway. So things we're going to talk about, and I'll bring a report back to the governing body. All our professional contracts were approved tonight. They were gathered early, and we're ready to mail them out. I'll sign them tomorrow. Animal control contracts renewals are up. We're going to discuss some things in the executive session, but I just want to bring everyone up to speed that those contracts are renewing, and I prepared them, and we'll discuss in detail. Same as street sweeping contracts with the towns we share with. Interviewing for a full-time finance/tax assistant will begin, if not Friday, early next week, to look to take action at January 22nd's meeting. We're looking to schedule a meeting with our finance department. Our budget chair and committee is welcome with our bond counsel to review the refinancing of debt and restructuring that debt. Aside from the pilot issue, just looking at some ways we can, again, lessen the amount we budget annually to pay down debt by refinancing our debt. Update on Sloan Park. The flood committee meets on the 15th here at 6:30 to meet with the engineer to finalize a few things. And one of those things is reviewing the plan for the Sloan Park flood mitigation and restoration, and that will be bid, and that will begin in March. And our park will be open if I have anything to do about it before the summer. And this is a great thing. It's going to stop our flooding on Main Street. It's going to open our park, which is our center of Main Street. It's going to fix the failing culverts and flats, and it's going to be the investment we need to make. So that is happening on the 15th, and then the engineer can move forward. Road paving, got a little sidetracked with the hurricane, put us back. We're trying to squeeze some 50-degree days and see what we can get done, but it doesn't look too promising because the winter pricing kicks in on asphalt. So we've already funded Jeffries Drive and Rafkin with the hopes of doing it this year. It looks like it'll be spring of this year. We were hoping to do it in 2012. Rafkin, we received $300,000 to do sidewalks and curbing on Rafkin, and that is just not enough. We got from the DOT. We applied for second phase to do, that is from Glen Road to the end, the cul-de-sac, past Martin Luther King School. All right. What I want to do is have a meeting with everyone affected in this section of Rafkin to talk about the options. Because we can do sidewalks and curbing and not pave the road. We can pave the road, not do. These are the discussions we need to have with the residents. The sidewalks, could be an assessment project. Things I want to get the input from residents to see how they want to proceed and utilize this DOT money the best we can. So that's just to bring you up to speed. I would hope to have early part of February. It'll be a public meeting, so we all can be there with the residents of Rafkin and have conversation on that project. Utility mapping. We have received to date over $600,000 utility fees from Avalon Bay. We are to receive an additional $500,000 in the next few months for utility fees on Avalon Bay, giving us close to $1.2 million utility. As we stated on the record numerous times last year, this money will be directly invested into our failing infrastructure, which will ultimately help our users' utility rates. Part of that, step one, is mapping the system. I received a proposal you've all been copied on. We can't do anything until February 5th, when we amend the temporary budget, but I'd ask you to review it, ask questions of it to me and our engineer, because I'd like to take action and move on this. We have a price of $95,000 to do a complete mapping of the entire town, our sewer, our water system, and our storm water system. This is a complete mapping, which we do not have a blueprint as we speak, okay? We have knowledge of some people who've been around a while who help us put Band-Aids on things, but the mapping is the first step. And I'd be looking to authorize that February 5th, utilizing the funds directly from Avalon Bay, which is the investment to get the blueprint to begin. And then it'll be a 5-year phase project where we will identify our problem areas, assuming the older areas of town are your problem areas, where we may have a lot of infiltration in our sewer system, which is why our rates are high, and we need to make the investment to repair that. So that will be coming forward in February. You've all been copied on those contracts and proposals, and I'd ask you to do your homework so we're ready to move with questions well in advance. Stormwater basin study as well. Part of that mapping identifies our stormwater basins, where they're filled, where they're clogged, our lines, where they're filled, where they're clogged. Again, where we can invest to clean them properly. We don't have the equipment to clean them, but I would look into shared services with a few neighboring towns who have the equipment, which would be a lot more cost effective than subbing out to private contractors and helping our flooding problem as well. This is stormwater. We are in the process of auctioning 5 old vehicles off. The deadline is the 17th of January. We anticipate $10,000 to $15,000 in revenue from these 5 vehicles, one being an old garbage truck, one being an old bucket truck, and then a few sedans we've had that are no longer in our fleet. I should have by next week pricing for generators for our DPW building and our fireman's hall. We've experienced from the hurricane the importance of our DPW, which amazes me doesn't have a generator, so when we lose power, our DPW loses power. They run a small generator to pump gasoline. It's unacceptable. We need to get the numbers and see if we can find the funding. And as far as a shelter and a warming station for our residents when the time occurs, we're going to look at generator for fireman's hall, so there's always access there. The boroughs already has a generator, so this was primarily our warming station during the hurricane, but that we should have numbers in the next, before the budget cycle to see what we can do on that.
Have we considered the senior center at all?
Excuse me?
The senior center?
Again, that was an option. I mean, it was definitely DPW. Second could be senior and or fireman's hall. I just thought fireman's hall because most of our OEM, our firemen, the ladies auxiliary tends to run most of the operation on a shelter. It just made sense to put it at the hall. Okay, so we can revisit that discussion. Our open space plan, which should be updated every 6 years, was authorized in 2010 to be updated, and just some delays and reviews and things. It's finally released from the planning board to the environmental commission for their final input to come back to us, back to the planning board. So I want to get that adopted before the spring. Animal shelter report. Just so everyone knows, our first year is under our belt, and this is where we stood in 2012 operating the animal shelter on our own. And the animal shelter, remember, we had a lot of startup costs as a result of the old tenant vacating cages and repairing the flood damage and so on. So in a nutshell, the total expenses related to the animal shelter were $58,543. The good news is the revenue stream from that shelter was $45,000, netting an operating expense to the borough of $13,000. And of that 58, in excess of $32,000 was expenses unforeseen, which we won't have this year. So, in summation, they're doing incredibly well. Lisa Perry, our ACO, is just running that with her part-time staff and her volunteers incredibly well, where it actually net cost was less than a potential contracted price. So I think we're in good shape there. And Councilwoman, I know you've always had questions, so here's detail for yourself. You can review that. Avalon Bay permits. We project roughly $340,000 to $400,000 in permits from Avalon Bay. They started to begin that process. Plans have been submitted, and we're looking for a plan review by our department, and hopefully, before the better part of February, we will be able to anticipate that as a revenue for 2013. And county open space. The county is redoing their open space master plan, and Bloomingdale's hosting one of their county-wide meetings. January 16th, here at Borough Hall, 7 p.m., is the Passaic County Open Space hearings, their public hearings, for the development of the county open space. So any resident, love for you to come. I will be attending, any council persons. It's not an advertised meeting, so we've got to watch it. So communicate with me who wishes to come. And I know Councilman Sherman, you should definitely be there for the input on our biggest asset for the county is the Friendship Park, which is joining with the old ball track, where we should, the county's been good to us, but we want to make sure it's in the forefront of their vision and their plan. Email conversion to our new website should be within hopefully the next 10 to 14 days. We're waiting for some releases from our old email server to begin full-blown new website, including staff email. And finally, online bill paying, we hope to get done before March so that residents can now pay taxes, permits, license, rec fees, utilities online via credit card and or PayPal, whichever mechanisms we use. So just a brief update for everyone on some of the current items that we're addressing in our borough. So thank you. And at this time, I need a motion to open a late public comment.
So moved.
And all in favor? Is anyone wishing to come forward, speak to anything your little heart desires? I'd love for you to come up, state your name and address for the record, please.
I need a Deputy Drive, 16 Deputy Drive.
How are you, sir?
Okay. The Avalon Bay is going through regardless of what, right?
Correct.
So all the hearings we had, that one meeting was north, all the complaints and everything else that everybody had?
Well, I'm sorry, the hearings about the pilot program?
Yeah.
The financial agreement and the tax thing? We had hearings.
Yes.
We had discussion on the ordinance which failed last year, and we've just reintroduced that ordinance today. So,
Is that going to get another vote now, or
right, what happens
is
is
it a done deal?
no, we introduced the ordinance tonight, and January 22nd will be the final adoption of that ordinance. I can only assume by the votes on the introduction that it would most likely be adopted on January 22nd.
I talked to you about Jeffrey Drive.
Yes.
There's no sign on there, there's weight limit on the bottom of the hill.
Okay.
And the trailer trucks come up and down the road. As if it's not bad enough, the shortcut to get to 23, the trailer trucks are chewing up the road too. And I haven't seen a police car there. I've moved here 71, I haven't seen a police car sitting on Jeffrey Drive, ever, except in front of my house. For me. Because I did something.
Well, yes.
You said there's a police car there, and there's a sign there that should be driving trailer trucks up the road. There's ShopRite trucks driving up Jeffrey Drive, trailer trucks.
And there is a weight limit sign, or there's not?
No, there is not,
Okay.
you said there was.
I have to check the code to see what the weight limit is on that. And it's something that can be enforced. I'll direct the police department to enforce it.
Trying to get out of our driveway between 7:30 and 9 o'clock is
Right.
almost
Yeah, I
impossible.
know exactly where you are. Okay. I promise you in the morning, I'll have a conversation with the police chief, address the speeding problem, the overweight vehicle problem, get a sign installed, take care of it. You'll see action. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak to anything? Seeing no one, I need a motion to close. All in favor? Aye. The governing body schedule is as follows. January 22nd is a regular business meeting. We'll be going to executive session where we have 2 personnel matters, 3 matters of negotiation, and I need a motion to adopt resolution 1.30, entering executive session. Someone give me, and I need a second. I need a second on authorizing executive. And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we will take a few minutes adjournment and come back no later than 8:30 to enter into executive session. We're back to public. I should actually step off. He's really should run.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
motion to introduce the new ordinance by title?
So move.
Second.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And then I'll bring them up.
Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Shortman.
Yes.
Sondemire.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes.
Tomato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
And that will be ordinance 4-2013, second and final January 22nd at 7 p.m. And that is an ordinance amending the salary ordinance for the Borough of Bloomingdale.
And then the second ordinance is ordinance 5-2013. It will be an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 1, titled Mayor and Borough Council, specifically Section 2.3, Powers and Duties of Mayor, and the Powers and Duties of the Mayor of the Code of the Borough of Bloomingdale.
Need a motion?
Move.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Sondemire.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Conklin.
Yes.
Tomato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Shortman.
Yes.
That will be an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 1, Mayor and Borough Council, Section 2.3, Powers and Duties of the Mayor of the Code of the Borough of Bloomingdale, second and final January 22nd, 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
With nothing else, is a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.